Hello dear students, welcome back for the session 2 of chapter 3 Ruling the Countryside. I hope you have gone through the first session and as per the instruction you have even read the chapter in the textbook, underlined the hard words, written down the hard words 5 times as per the instruction. I also know that you must have read all the slides and listened to the session 1 carefully. So, as said last time, let's start session 2, that is question and answers. So, the first question is match the column. The first column is question and the second column is answer. Rights, peasants, mahal, village, Nij, cultivation of planters own land. Righty, cultivation of rights land. Second is fill in the blanks. Growers of wood in Europe saw dash indigo as a crop which would provide competition to their earnings. B. The demand for indigo increased in late 18th century Britain because of the dash expansion of cotton production that lead to an enormous demand for cloth dyes. C. The international demand for indigo was affected by the discovery of synthetic dyes. D. The Champaran movement was against indigo planters. Third question is describe the main features of the permanent settlement. Answer is the permanent settlement was a land revenue system introduced in 1793 by East India Company. By the terms of this settlement, the Rajas and Talukdars were recognized as zamindars. They were asked to collect the rent from the peasants and pay revenue to the company. The main features of the permanent settlement system were the amount of the revenue was fixed permanently, that it was not to be increased even in future. Since the revenue demand of the state would not be increased, the zamindar would benefit from increasing production from the land. The revenue that had been fixed was so high that the zamindars found it difficult to pay. Those who failed to pay the revenue lost their zamindari. Even when the income of the zamindars increased due to the increased cultivation, there was no gain for the company since it could not increase the revenue demand that had been fixed permanently. Exorbitant prices of land which zamindars had to pay the company, which was failed. Question 4. What was the Mahalwari system? How was the Mahalwari system different from the permanent settlement? Answer. Difference between Mahalwari system and permanent settlement was as follows. Mahalwari system. It was introduced by Holt Mazzini. Sorry. It was introduced by Holt Mackenzie in 1822. This system was mainly devised to collect revenue from the village, which were called mahal. The estimated revenue of each plot within a village was added up to calculate the revenue that each mahal had to pay. The village headman was in charge of collecting the revenue. The revenue was to be revised periodically. On the other side, permanent settlement. It was introduced by Lord Cornwallis in 1793. This system aimed at ensuring stable revenue for the East India Company. The revenue was fixed that each zamindar had to pay to the company. The Rajas and Talukdars were in charge of collecting revenue. The revenue was fixed, that is, it was never to be increased in the future. Question 5. Give two problems which arose with the new Monroe system of fixing revenue. Two problems which arose with the new Monroe system of fixing revenue were: the revenue demand was fixed too high that could not be met by the peasants. Peasants, being unable to pay the rent, fled the countryside, and the villages became deserted in many regions. Question 6. Why were Wrights reluctant to grow indigo? The Wrights were reluctant to grow indigo due to the following reasons. They were paid very low prices for it. They found that they could never earn any profit from the indigo plantation. The farmers were insisted to grow indigo on the fertile parts of their land by the planters, but they preferred growing rice on the best soils. This is because once indigo was cultivated, the fertility of the soil decreased. So after an indigo harvest, the land could not be used for sowing rice. Question 7. What were the circumstances which lead to the eventual collapse of indigo production in Bengal? The circumstances which lead to the eventual collapse of indigo production in Bengal are mentioned below. In March 1859, thousands of Wrights in Bengal refused to grow indigo. They started protesting as they thought that they had the support of village headmen in their rebellion. The headmen, who were forced to sign the contract, fought battles with the agents of the indigo planters. The zamindars also supported the farmers as they were unhappy with the increasing power of the planters. The indigo farmers also believed that the British government would support them in their rebellion against the planters because the government did not want another rebellion after the revolt of 1857. Following the protests, the Indigo Commission was continued by the government, which held the planters guilty of using coercive methods to deal with the indigo peasants and asked the planters to stop the cultivation. This eventually led to the e- eventual collapse of indigo plantation in Bengal. So with this question 7, we end up question and answer session. But students, I would like to give you some instruction for your future studies. You have written the last exam well, but I have gone through some of the answers which were not perfect or not very much suitable or not up to the mark for the question. See, we have been giving you this question answer session so that you write down the question answers and recite them, which will help you for exams writing the answers better and pass with flying colors. But what was observed that many students do not write answers as per the session. They are writing answers from Google or answers, I don't know where does it come from. The answers do not match the question and they have lost marks. I encourage students to procure or find answers from textbook. But some students do not know exactly what is the answer to be extracted from the textbook. They write any phrase or any paragraph as answer for the question, but they do not understand that this is not this is not what is expected by us as answer of the question. So wherever we find the answer is not sufficient or it doesn't match the question, we have given it wrong and you have lost the marks. So I would again instruct you or advise you students to write these question answers in your notebook, recite them well, write the same question answer in your exams and score good marks and pass with flying colors. See, it's in your better way that you pass with good marks, and you will pass with good marks only when the answers are up to the mark, when the answer justify the question. Sometimes I have seen even the question is something and the answers are something different. Please don't do that. As instructed before Diwali sessions, please now also I advise write down the question answers and recite them for your exams and pass with flying colors. So bye for now. Have a great day and follow the instructions. Thank you.